The factory is running, but it is not nearly as efficient as it could be. If we take a look at this constructor on the steel floor, you can see that it is running at 100%, and we have the option to go all the way up to 250%. Now, you can drop that down a little bit if you want to take advantage of a lower power consumption for a lower clock speed, because you do run into a lot of bottlenecks, so sometimes it's not the best idea to have something running at 100% capacity. But in this case, we want to go above that. So in order to do that, we're going to need some power shards, and to get those power shards, we're going to need to find some glowing slugs. So luckily I have this scanning device here, which is going to allow us to find those slugs, and if we set that over to power slugs, we can use this to try and find some. So it looks like there's some in this direction, and I'm going to go on a quest for some power slugs. So where is this first guy hiding? I know they like to hang out on cliff sides, but I don't see anyone here. It must be farther away, and I see a big boss guy over there. So the slug looks like he's being guarded by that big bad guy who definitely has seen me, so I'm probably going to have to fight him. Let me grab my Xeno Basher here and see if we... Oh, he's quick. All right, let's get around the tree and try and heal up a little bit. Grab the medicinal inhaler. Went the wrong way. Okay, I need my cover here. And what are you doing? He's just kind of hanging out there. Let me grab my swordy guy again. And I don't really want to be out in the open, so let me get you back behind this tree. And this will probably be the way that I have to do things. So 2 hits, pretty good. Let's try a couple more. I don't know how strong this guy really is, but I seem to be pretty safe around here. So that's 6 so far. And 7, 8. Okay, well, got him. This one is a yellow power slug, so I guess that means he's extra fancy or something. So this is what I mean by they like to hang out on the cliffs, and I don't know if I can get over there. You know, I'm going to risk it. I'm just going to try and jump on over there. It's not too far, and with the low gravity, it shouldn't be much of a problem. Alright, yeah, I think we're good. Oh, that was closer than I thought. We got a little enemy over there. He's the one that can spit the fireballs at me. But if he stays there, I should be... Oh, he's getting a better angle. Okay, so... I don't know. Oh! No, that was close. I almost walked off the back. So let me try and grab this power slug while he's doing his thing over there, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, you got me. Well, I don't really want to fight you, so I'm just going to jump and parachute to safety. And parachute, parachute, parachute! What the hell happened? Where's my parachute? Well, I guess this guy is trying to... Oh, there he is. Why can't they just hang out in really easy-to-reach places? They always have to be up high. Well, I guess the ones that are down low are the ones that get eaten, so all the smart ones are the ones climbing up here. I see there's a power slug over there on the other side of this chasm, so I'm going to have to get a little bit fancy and erect my own temporary bridge. So I can use these foundations to try and build some access from this side to the other. Although I can see there's a very angry enemy there waiting for me. I'll have a little surprise for him in the form of the Xeno Basher, or maybe I could just block him out there. Just build on top of him. Nope, okay. He's blocking my way. He's being a little bit clever. Oh, no, there we go. Oh, he's back! Ah! I don't want him to knock me off this cliff. I would definitely die. These yellow slugs must have some sort of symbiotic relationship with these gigantic charging enemies, because they seem to be defended all the time. I'm just going to sucker punch this guy. Oh, no, I regret this decision. Oh, no, get behind the tree. Tree for safety. All right, bush will have to do. Okay, safety bush. Well, he's just kind of ignoring me now. Our battle came to an end for whatever reason. So I'm wondering if I can just go and grab this power. Oh, definitely not! Okay. Whew. All right, whoa, hey, where are you going? Oh, he's taking a little trip. Ooh, that is ugly. Ooh, sorry, pal. That was a very unceremonious death. Now that the coast is clear, we can grab the yellow power slug, and I feel like I've got a pretty solid amount, so I'm going to head back to base now and see what we can do with these guys. From my quest, I was able to gather 7 green power slugs and 3 yellow power slugs. Now I already have these 5 power shards because I was able to craft them before they updated things, so now the only way for me to get them is to in fact go through the method which I'm about to show you here. So we have to go into our crafting bench and we have to scroll down. We can find the power shards here. So the green power slugs, which I have 7, have a 1-to-1 conversion factor, so I'm going to go ahead and make all 7 of these. Now, I'm not sure if you can automate this, but I don't know if that's necessary because finding those slugs is going to be... Well, I was actually just thinking there may be some sort of like drone that we could make to harvest power slugs from the environment, but that sounds a little bit exploitative. So we now have 12 total power shards, and I'm going to use the remaining yellow power slugs to max out our total at 18. That is a good number, so let's go see what we can apply these to. I'm on the first floor of the factory, which is the iron production floor, and it's clear the thing holding us back is the process on the right, which is taking the iron and turning that ultimately into the reinforced iron plates. So I'm going to head up a little bit, and we're going to take a look at how this first constructor is doing, which is making the regular iron plates. And it is running at 20 parts per minute, so if we throw one of these power shards in there, we can overclock this up to 150% and take a look at it now doing 30 parts per minute. But we are experiencing a slowdown and not receiving enough iron ingots. So let's go even one step higher in the process. We'll take a look at this smelter. So it is running at 30 parts per minute, and it looks like the iron ore is not coming in fast enough to take advantage of that 30 parts per minute. So we're going to have to go even higher. And we are now looking here. This is the splitter sending some of the ore to the other two smelters there. But we may be able to bypass having to reroute those conveyor belts by overclocking the miner significantly. So if we throw a couple power shards in here, we can double this output. And you can see we're getting significantly more iron ore at 120 per minute. But you can see that this number here, which is kind of the reserve, if it's not able to output as quickly as it's producing, then this number will go up. So that's clearly the case, and we're going to have to now create a new, well, really just upgrade the existing conveyor belt to the Mark II, which should be twice as fast. So it should be able to accommodate the 200% overclocking. So you can see these guys moving in much quicker now as going into the splitter, so the density here is a bit better. You can see the spacing there is what it used to be, and now they are, a little bit closer together. So let's take a look at this smelter now, and we're still not quite there. Actually, I don't know what's going on here. It's kind of stopping and starting. It looks like it's running smoothly now. So I think things are going a bit better. Let's overclock this guy. Try and get it to the point where the input is balanced to the output. Because if one of them is off, then we're going to have to either go down the line or above to find out what we need to increase the clock speed of. So this looks like it's doing a little bit better. Creating these iron ingots a little bit faster. Should be feeding this constructor a little bit faster. That's going to head down to sending these iron plates over into this assembler, which previously was having trouble keeping up with the iron plates. You can see screws are doing quite well. So we're going to have to monitor this and maybe keep overclocking with power shards to see how this does. Well, I've just experienced a shutdown, which is obviously not ideal, and it's difficult to tell why, because you can see that our consumption hasn't really spiked at all, and our capacity, which used to be at 375, now appears to be at 150. So if I try and reset everything, we're still looking at a capacity of 150. So that to me suggests that something is going wrong at our power plant, which is consuming the coal. So I'm going to have to head down there and make sure that everything's running fine, because we're not getting the power from there that I was expecting. Okay, what is going on here? You can see my 5 coal generators, and if I take a look at the power pole, which is... I don't know where that is, so let's just take a look at one of the coal generators right here. This one's receiving coal, and it's out of water. Huh. Out of water? How can it be out of water? Look, this is full. This is not. Is there a leak? What's happening here? This is the water extractor, which is feeding the coal generators, so let's take a look and see what's going on with it. So obviously it has no power because this is attached to the main power grid, and it looks like it is full of water, but that water is not making it up into the coal generators. So I'm guessing that there was a mini update, and now this doesn't produce enough pressure of its own, because previously it was pumping the water up to a reservoir at the foot of the building, and then there was a pump sending that water from the reservoir up to the coal generators. So I'm guessing I'm just going to have to make some minor tweaks to make sure that that water can get from the extractor to the first stage, which is the reservoir and pump. I've removed the water extractor and the 2 pumps from the main power grid, and they are now running on a biomass burner there, so you can see that the water is getting pumped up to this reservoir, which is then getting pumped up to the second floor by this second pump, and that should be supplying the coal generators with enough water they need to run. So I'm going to look at the main grid, and if we restart this, we should be back up to our capacity at 375. And it sounds like things are running, but our capacity is at 0. What's going on here? The coal generators are all running, and our capacity is at 405 as opposed to the 375, which I was expecting, which I guess means that the biomass burner is now... Wait, none of this makes sense. I removed the biomass burner, which was powering the water system, and have returned everything to the main grid. And so now it's working again, but I don't really know why. I'm going to have to come through here and kind of redo all of the electricity and the power systems. But it's working now, and so I'm just going to leave it until something bad happens again. While I'm down here, I figured I might as well overclock the coal generators. I'll give them each a modest 50% boost, up to 150%, because I don't think they're limited by the water, and I'm pretty confident they're not limited by the coal. So all of them should do just fine with the increased consumption. With all the power problems settled, let's return to the iron plate production line and see what else we can overclock. So here in the beginning you can see that we are probably backed up. We're receiving too much iron ore, so we can overclock this guy by another 50%. We'll take a quick look to see how that's doing. So still maxed out there. If we go to 250%, it looks like it's dropping down a bit. So it looks like our ideal rate is going to be somewhere in between 200 and 250. It's dropping pretty significantly, down to 98 already. So I'm going to take one of these out. We're going to leave that at 200%. So we are for sure getting more iron ingots coming out of the smelter. Now into our first constructor. How are we doing here? Looks like a little bit extra of the iron ingots coming in, so I'm going to give this guy an extra 50%, up to 200% now. So we should be getting a bunch more iron plates coming through here, and that is going to be feeding our first assembler here, which is combining the screws, which we have way too much of, with the iron plates, which should be coming in faster. So I'm going to throw in a power shard here and just give this guy another 50%. So that should now give us more reinforced iron plates all the way into that guy, but I'm going to wait to do any more of the overclocking because it's going to take a little bit to see how the things are running, and I'm going to have to do a little bit of testing, find out which lines are going to be backed up or need more capacity given any sort of change to anything above a certain production. So it's going to be a process, and the end game will just be that things will get produced faster. So I don't know if it's really worth going through and trying to show you guys every little bit of what is going to get overclocked. But ideally, everything here would get maxed out to the maximum of 250% each, and then once we have a problem after everything's fully overclocked, then we'll move on to something like creating additional assembly lines for redundancy. So thank you guys for watching this one. We went all the way from hunting for slugs to overclocking, fixing some power issues, and now we're well on our way to producing more advanced materials to therefore unlock more advanced materials and reach the end game, whatever that is. So thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.